Hello everyone and welcome to the Navin Times Talk from the Heart. Our thoughts are very powerful. Our thoughts affect our emotions. Our emotions affect our words, our actions, and this finally affects our life, our destiny. If we want to bring a change in our life, we need to start with our thoughts. Changing your thoughts is not as easy as it sounds or the way I'm saying it. But there is a way to do it. There are many benefits to it. And to talk to us about the benefits, the importance of it and how we can do it, we have with us Brahma Kumaris, Shivani. Sister Shivani, welcome and thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti to you as well. Ma'am, you have been a spiritual leader for quite some time. I'm not sure how many years. You have helped thousands of people onto the right path, onto the spiritual path. You've helped people make changes, tremendous changes in their lives. But you were an engineer. So from an engineer to a spiritual teacher, how did this come about? Who helped you to come onto this path? Because you're helping others, so somebody must have helped you definitely. So we want to know first, how did this happen?
First and foremost is, I was not here to become a spiritual teacher, definitely not a leader, and definitely don't believe myself to be one even now. I'm a spiritual student. I'm studying every single day. So I'm here to study and create that shift within. So that was the purpose of starting the journey. And this happened about 25 years back. And it happened because my mother had started going to the Brahma Kumaris Raj Yoga Meditation Center. And so, when parents are learning something, then obviously it's in the house and she would talk about it. Of course, she wanted me to go with her, but I was not very keen. I was not interested actually, simply because I didn't find the need for it. I thought my life was fine. I didn't need to do anything extra. So, and I was not seeking anything also. So I was not seeking, or nor would I say I was ever inclined towards spirituality or meditation. I mean, there was absolutely nothing at all. But just by seeing the change in her, shifting towards becoming emotionally stronger and, worrying less and not getting anxious if something is not right in her children's life, if someone is late. So earlier there would be panic if someone is late because that was the era of without mobiles, right? So if you're late, you would suddenly find your mommy up and down in the balcony, walking from here to there, looking for you. And suddenly all that had shifted, that you care, but you don't worry, you don't panic. But how did she manage to create that kind of a change suddenly after so many years? So definitely she had found something. And I was still not seeking for it because I didn't feel I had anything to change. But I suddenly woke up one day and I said, even I want to learn this. I don't know. There was no reason for it. And I just started learning. And so I went to the meditation center. And there are sisters at every meditation center. There are meditation centers in 130 countries. Goa has so many Raj Yoga meditation centers also. So
I think about 4 or 5, ma'am. About 4 or 5.
Yeah. So you go to the center and the sisters are there to teach us meditation. Then they teach us. And then there's a family who's already, family means everybody who comes there daily to learn. And then you just are apart with them and you are learning. So you go only for yourself. You're not going there for any other reason. But once you benefit from something that you have learned or practiced, you just share about it with your friends or, people around you, So that's just how the journey started. It's just a journey of a student and still a student. And once in a while get a chance to just share what I'm learning. That's all.
I think the once in a while has been thousands of times at least.
Yeah, that's increased a little bit.
Yes.
But still, it's also still learning and then sharing. Learning, experiencing, and then sharing. It's not something that, I'm not saying anything that I've reached anywhere. There's still a long, long way to go to where I know what's my aim. So it's a lot of learning. Every morning we have our study class where we are studying. every morning, every single day, 365 days of the year. So every morning starts with the study, then sharing during the day.
I'm sure many people, whoever, have heard you, they must be saying, you are a wonderful speaker. There is, God is working through you, for sure, for sure. I watch you very often. I'm very inspired by you. The best part I like about you is your serenity. There is something very peaceful about you. When you speak, there is a calm that, I think many people like me are looking for. So I'm so happy you are on our show, and I hope you make it a habit to please keep coming back, because we in Goa would love to hear from you, believe it or not. You have just 4 or 5 Brahma Kumaris. I'm sure the more you speak to us, there will be even more. So yes, that could be an incentive. Sister Shivani, my question to you is, there is a motivational speaker, I think he is, who says that the mind is a superb instrument if it is used rightly, correctly. Each one interprets it very differently. Now, my right is very different from other people's right. How would you interpret it? What would you say is this using it rightly? What would you say to it?
The mind, what is it doing constantly? It's creating thoughts. So it's not a physical thing. We can't see the mind. If we go to a doctor, they can show us the brain, but they can't show us the mind. So you can't ask them, where in this is the mind? So mind is not physical. Brain is physical. Mind is energy. What is the mind doing? Creating thoughts. Medical science says we create about 75 to 80,000 thoughts in a day. That's what they say. We don't know. We've not been able to count it. But they say because they can see it on the EEG. So EEG is a graph, like a ECG is the graph for the heart. EEG is a graph for the brain, where the instruction by the mind is given to the brain, and then that is reported, as the impulse sheet on the EEG. So they say it's about 75 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Now, every thought is a quality, right? Suppose I'm meeting you and I create a thought, lovely soul, lovely to connect with you. It's a thought. It's just a thought. But because I've created a thought which is clean, which is pure, I will feel good. But if I create a thought, what an irritating person. What is she saying? What is she asking? Now you are the same person. You are saying what you're saying, but my perception about you, my perception about you, my perception about your behavior will start with my thoughts there. So if I am creating thoughts of acceptance about you, thoughts of appreciation about you, then I am the first person who's going to feel nice, because they are nice thoughts. So my feelings are nice. So thoughts influence feelings. But if I'm creating critical thoughts about you, judgmental thoughts about you, then I'm the first person who's not going to feel nice. So my thoughts create my feelings here, and then my every thought radiates to my body also. So that's why doctors tell us that most illnesses are psychosomatic. So they're starting from the psyche. So I may be thinking wrong about you, and I may think it's very real. You are irritating. So I'm going to think you're irritating. That's what I justify. But I'm radiating those judgmental thoughts to my body. So who's getting affected is my health also, my physical health. Then third, my thoughts will radiate to you. Vibrations. They reach you. Even though I could be smiling, I could be very polite in my words, I could be perfect in my behavior, but my critical and judgmental thoughts will radiate to you. And then people say, I can feel the vibes of the person. I'm not liking the vibes of this person, or I'm liking the vibes of the person. Most important is our thoughts influence our relationships. So, if you see our world of relationships today, we make a lot of effort in our relationships nowadays. Few years back, relationships were effortless. We were not doing much to please each other, much to, make everything so perfect. Now, though, we have to work very hard on our relationships. Even then, they are not strong, because sometimes we're thinking different and speaking different. So that's the power of our thoughts. It's reaching people and it's creating our relationships. And the fourth is our every thought goes into the environment. So it's influencing the air, the water, the plants, everything. So this is the seed of our life. From here goes the tree of our life. So everything is actually from here. So like you said, the mind is like in which direction you want to use it. So if you create right thoughts, then you can create happiness, health, harmony, and heaven in your life. And if you create the opposite thoughts more, then you can create stress and anxiety. You can manifest that into a mental health issue. You can manifest disease in your body. You can create conflict in your relationships. And we know what we've done with the planet with all our nature of greed and competition. So, so much power the thoughts have.
So it is true that, suppose we meet someone and we automatically, spontaneously find something, like you said, something irritating about a person, and you don't really know the person. It's just that vibe that the person is giving you maybe is wrong. So that person has already made up this image about me, and that is why she is radiating that negative vibe. I feel that vibe, and I'm thinking negative as well. So that causes a conflict, without sometimes even saying words. Just looks can cause that. So how we use our mind and using it right is, as you said, important.
Yeah, but even if someone is sending negative vibes to you, that doesn't mean we will also create negative energy. No, no, no. We have a choice. Suppose I send negative vibes to you, which means I'm just thinking ill in the sense judgmental about you. You have options. One, you can reflect that negativity back to me, which means you are creating the same. So I send negative to you, you send negative to me, you reflect that negativity back to me. Second is you absorb that negativity, which means you go into pain, you create hurt. You're not thinking negative about me, so you're not reflecting it, but you are in pain that I was negative about you. So, you're not liking yourself, why the other person didn't behave right with me. So you absorbed my negativity. And the third is you transformed my negativity. That I threw negative at you, but you're still sending blessings to me. So that's the power we all have.
Absolutely. Earlier you said something about the brain and the mind. Now,
yes,
invariably, we all use it interchangeably. Something came into my mind, so I'm talking about my brain, or my brain told me to do this. I know that there is a very fine line between the two, but can you simplify it? And you're very good at this. I know you simplify things and make it so easy.
No, it's very simple. Yeah, it's very simple. I'm using a laptop right now. Okay, so this laptop is my brain. Okay, this laptop is my brain. Now, if this laptop is connected to another machine, so then that machine is my body. So, but I am the operator of the laptop. So there are three things. I, the operator, then the computer, and third, the machine.
The machine.
So, the machine. So I, the operator, will give an instruction. The instruction will get coded by the brain. And then that means the computer. And the computer will give the instruction to the machine, and the machine will operate accordingly. So the mind is the I, the operator. Suppose I give an instruction to the brain, I am thirsty. So who's creating that thought, I am thirsty? Not the brain. The brain cannot think. The brain can only execute my thinking. So I, the energy, will create a thought, I am thirsty. I need a glass of water. That message goes to the brain. The brain will process that. So that's the computer. And that message from the brain will go to the body. And I will get up and get my glass of water. So this is the machine. So the body is the machine. The brain is the computer. And the energy is the operator of the computer. So the control is with the energy, the operator. The brain and the body is only going to do whatever instruction is given. Whatever instruction is given. So if I give an instruction to my brain that I don't want to talk to her, finished. You can be however nice you want. I will not talk to you. And if I give an instruction saying, doesn't matter how she is, I want to be nice to her. That's how the machine will work. So the power is here.
Yes. Well, is it right to say that the brain is like the message center? It just receives and transmits messages.
Yes, the brain is the interface between the energy I and the body. It's like what to see, what to hear, what to say, The brain is going to give instruction. No, when the brain doesn't work, the body doesn't work. No, if someone goes into coma, what is happening? The person can still think, the person can still feel. If we sit next to somebody who's in coma, they can listen to everything that we are saying.
True.
They can even catch our thoughts, but their mind, brain, body interface is not working. Something is not right over there. So the mind can catch, the mind can think, but cannot get it executed from the brain. So that's where the connection is loose. They cannot get it executed. They cannot speak to us. They cannot look at us. So it's that interface.
So we often say, I say it all the time, that I cannot control my mind. It is not in my hands. You know, it has its own life, believe it or not. Very often I tell myself, I make this, you know, decision that tomorrow morning I'm really going to wake up early and I'm going to sit for my meditation. Next morning the alarm rings, I put it off and I go back to sleep and I'm like, you know, I did that again. So how can we, I've tried meditation. So besides, how do we, besides meditation, is there any other way that we can train our mind, you know?
First and foremost, the main thing why we are not being able to control our mind is we have started believing that our mind is dependent on situations and people's behavior. So if you look, our vocabulary is, I'm angry because of her. He is very irritating. I'm happy because of him. I'm upset because of her. So when we, or anything good or bad, both we are blaming the world. We are saying it's because something over there. So whether it's a situation, whether it's a person, whether it's a person's behavior, even the weather, we get up, open the window, look at the weather and we say, oh, the weather is so depressive. And weather has nothing to do with our thoughts and feelings. But it's our interpretation that my mind is only reacting to situations and people. This is called emotional dependence. And therefore, if you see even in the last 1 year, COVID was a physical health issue, right? It's a virus. We learned how to protect ourselves. But another line that we've been saying almost the entire year, fear and anxiety is normal. We called fear and anxiety normal. Why should fear and anxiety be normal? Fear and anxiety is a choice, not normal. But because I thought that because it's COVID, then fear and anxiety is normal. It was the same like, because she didn't talk properly to me, naturally I will get hurt. No, it's not natural. It's an option. So first step is to shift from a life of blaming the world for how we are feeling to remembering that they are just a stimulus. They are a stimulus. You talking to me right now is a stimulus. You can be polite to me. You can be rude to me. You can be abusive to me. That's all a stimulus. But you cannot get into my mind and create my feelings. You can only be there and say whatever you want to say. But you cannot get into my mind and create my feelings. These I need to remember always. People can do whatever they have to do outside, but nobody can get inside my mind and create my feelings. So who's creating this? I. Then why am I blaming the world for it? I am creating it. So I need to remember, one, I am the creator of my every thought, feeling. Second, I have a choice which quality, thought and feeling to create. And now consciously shift throughout the day to shift from stress, anxiety, anger, jealousy, this whole list of uncomfortable emotions. They're actually emotional illnesses. And shift to creating feelings of calm, stability, compassion, empathy, consciously in every scene. As you do that during the day, this inner power will increase because you are choosing, you are creating the right feeling. So your emotional fitness levels will increase. Your willpower will increase. Now in the night, if you sleep early, but you can't sleep late and say, I will get up early in the morning. So you sleep early, you sleep right, and then you give an instruction to yourself. Tomorrow morning, I'm certain that I'm waking up early. Your body and mind, brain will wake up on its own, natural. You will not need an alarm.
I'm going to try that. I mean, so basically what you are telling us is that a mind is something where we make a choice. We decide if this is going to be good or bad. We have the choice. There is an option. And it is not the mind that is
should we experiment right now? Should we experiment right away?
Oh my goodness, I'm very scared
Just
to say
10
yes.
seconds. You don't have to do anything. It's personal. It's inside. But let everyone do it, not just you and me. Everyone who's watching this program should do it. Just close your eyes for 5 seconds and remember the last time you got angry. Just bring on the screen of your mind the last time you got angry. And what happened that day? What was exactly the situation? What was the stimulus? And I reacted and I created anger. Now, I just rewind the scene. Everything remains the same. The same situation is going to come again tomorrow. Okay? Now, the person's mistake, everything remains the same. If I have given the option to myself, can I respond differently tomorrow to the same scene? Last time I reacted, I got angry, I know what I did. Tomorrow, can I respond differently? Can I do it without using anger as a weapon? What do you think? Can you do it differently tomorrow?
I don't know, but I'm going to try for sure. I'm sure I can.
No, but can
sure.
you? Can
Yes,
you? It's simple. So that is the proof. So that is the proof that what we are responding is our choice. It's our choice. So that is the proof. Now we just have to use that, that option many times. But the main power lies in not blaming the other person for how we are feeling. If I blame the other person, I lose my power completely. It's finished. It's gone.
And I think we all end up doing that. We blame other people for how we feel.
Yes,
and we
so
give
that's
them
giving
power.
away our power.
Yes, we give our power to
so
them.
If you give,
invariably.
so if you, exactly. So if you give away your power, then you are lacking in willpower. Then you won't be able to wake up in the morning tomorrow.
I'm going to hold on to it really, really tight. And I want to say I'm going to do it. So let's see. Now, I've read a line which I said I must read out to you, which is so interesting. I'm just going to read it out to you. It says, positive thinking is not about expecting the best to happen. Yes. It is about accepting that whatever will happen is for the best. That's very deep, And
yes.
Again, everyone has their own interpretation of it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. But it is like positive thinking.
Say?
Yeah. Suppose, let's take a student. Okay. If a student is wanting to go into a professional college, let's say somebody wants to become a doctor. Okay. So now positive thinking will be that I want to be a doctor. I have to be a doctor. I cannot be anything else. I have to be a doctor. So that is positive thinking. We will say, I've decided and I will be a doctor. They put in the effort, they work hard, everything. But suppose, whatever chances and whatever performance, they are not able to get into a professional college, or they are not able to get into that medical college where they wanted to get in. Then feeling rejected, feeling let down, feeling like a failure, not feeling like living, feeling that life has lost its purpose because I have not got what I wanted to become. If I don't become a doctor, I don't want to be anything. Now, all this is not positive thinking. This is not positive thinking. So positive thinking means not that we only think positive before we do something, but whatever is the outcome that what has happened, then understanding that I will now create the best in this. Not that this is life is of no use now. Now I don't want to live. If I didn't get what I wanted, then it's not positive thinking. No? Then it's very, very low thinking. And then it is at these times where we can do things which are not right for us. Someone got rejected in a relationship. So positive thinking doesn't mean that, no, I have to get that person back. I have to get, some people say, I have to get that person back into my life. Tell me how I can get that person back. This is not positive thinking that forcefully you have to get somebody back into your life. If somebody says they don't want to be, you can't forcefully get people back into your life. I have to get that person back. This is not positive thinking. Now that the person has chosen not to be with me, now how am I going to keep my mind positive in this situation? So I have to learn to keep my mind positive and right in every situation of life. Not only in the situations which are my way, which I got what I wanted.
You make it sound really easy. I have been there. I know, when a situation like this happens, when life gives you lemons and everything seems very dark, everything's around you is the way it was always, but you look at it in a different light because you're unhappy, you're depressed, and at that time to look at something like you have said and say, okay, look at it that, this is what it is and now I have to make something out of it. It is not easy. It is difficult. And I think it is, from personal experience, I think it is a struggle every day. And as the days pass, prayer helps a lot, extremely. Is that you tend to become stronger. You tend to understand that there is a plan. God has a plan,
Yes.
but at that moment, Sister Shivani, let me tell you, at that moment, it is, you have hit rock bottom and you feel, nothing can be worse than this. Nothing. And then you just say, oh my goodness, years later, when I look back at my life and I think, how did I do it? And God's hand has been there. Not only, God has worked through people, through situations in our life. And all those who are listening, I think this is a great opportunity for you and for me to, to say this. I mean, it's happened in my life and I can explain it. That yes, it does.
But like you said, that we hit rock bottom and then we started to pray. So we pray, we meditate, we connect to the divine, right? And when we do that, we got strength. See, these are your words. So I prayed, God gave me strength. And when God gives me strength, today when I look back at it, it's a different perspective. But today you have the strength to face that situation.
Absolutely.
So from where did that strength come? From where did the strength come? The strength came from the divine power. The strength came from that the daily practice of prayers, meditation, spiritual study. So which means when I flood my mind with pure content, what is prayers? Prayers means every word in a prayer is high vibrational pure content. This is diet. This is diet for the mind. And so when you pray, you get two things. You get nourishment for the mind because you're filling yourself with high energy words, and you get power from God. And you get these two things. This increases your emotional fitness, which means you got the right diet and you also got the strength to implement that diet. And you were able to face the situation. But you're able to face the situation. If you minus those two things from your life, which means you did not pray, you did not connect to the divine, you were trying to cross the situation on your own. Even then you would be able to cross it, but it would take longer. It would probably go through more pain. It would take time to heal. And sometimes we don't heal. We hold the scars for a lifetime. We can hold the scars for a lifetime. So your life is evidence that when we pray, we meditate, we connect to the divine, we get the strength to cross it. Similarly, when we do that on a daily basis, so that's what we are practicing, that we are doing that on a daily basis, not only when a situation hits, you see. So we're doing that on a daily basis. So then that strength and that power is experienced on a daily basis. And then here comes a situation, but then the power is there before the situation, not catching hold of the power after the situation. So then it becomes easier to face the situation.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But what I would like to ask you is that, according to me, I could do it because I was an adult and I realize that there is a plan. God has a plan somewhere, Maybe it was to sit and speak with you. His final plan was that, I could do with this because I would be speaking to you. But what about youngsters? Now, youngsters do not have that kind of same life experiences. They do not have that same kind of conviction that God is going to help me. They are, I won't say they're frivolous or fickle, but I just feel that they do not have that kind of maturity that adults have. So you gave the example of a student who wanted to be a doctor, wanted to get into XYZ college, and then it did not happen. This child, you rightly said, becomes so depressed, and then some of them, take really make bad decisions, and they take steps that are harm not just them but even their family members. So for a youngster, for a student, how can they look at situations and understand? What can parents do to help them? What can teachers do? Because they need help. They do.
Yeah. Actually, this doesn't depend on whether you're young or you're adult, you're old, because you will find many who are adults, so age wise, they're very old, but they are not nourishing their mind on a daily basis. They're not nourishing their mind on a daily basis with that wisdom, with those spiritual principles, with those prayers, with that meditation. If I am not nourishing my mind on a daily basis with that right diet, then when a situation hits, I may not be fit enough to cope up with it. Again, like this year, why mental health issues on the rise during time of COVID? COVID is only a physical health issue, but there's so much anxiety, so much panic, and it's all age groups. So it's not that it's only with the young, it's also with the elderly. It's also with the elderly, which means who are 60, 65 and above. They were very scared, very panicked, because repeatedly media was saying, okay, the elders need to take care. They are the ones who are more vulnerable. So exposed to that media repeatedly, right? Exposed to that content information repeatedly. So we need to know what is the source of good emotional health, which means how to be strong enough. Like we take care of physical stamina, we also need to take care of the emotional stamina. So my coping skill towards a situation, that is my emotional health, which in the world of education we call emotional quotient or emotional intelligence. So that's my emotional health. So what is the source of creating good emotional health? Emotional diet. And what is emotional diet? Is what we watch, what we read, what we listen. What we watch, read, listen is the quality, is the source of our thoughts. So if I want to change my thought, I only need to change what I watch, read, listen, and my thinking will change. It's as simple as that. Now, what's happening with many of us today? We are flooding our mind with content from all platforms of media, no? All platforms of media. We are flooding our mind with content. And
Excuse
especially
me.
the youth, no, spending so much of time scrolling, consuming content. So one is quantity of what we're consuming, and second is quality. If the quality has more of violence, ego, lust, greed, comparison, competition, that's the quality of
Plays on our
content I
mind.
consume, emotional health is low, because I'm studying and absorbing only negative content, which they will not call negative because it's normal content. No, that's the
That's
content around
entertainment,
us.
they would say.
Yeah, that's entertainment. But if that entertainment has lust, greed, jealousy, ridiculing people, condemning people, this is not entertainment, it's toxic. It's toxic here. So I am consuming a toxic junk food diet for my mind. And then if I have to climb a hill, which means if I have to face a situation, I don't have the stamina for it. So that's when I will go down. But if, like you said, I prayed. So what did we do? We consumed pure content, pure content. So if everybody, adult or youth or children, age doesn't matter. If every day we keep at least 20 to 30 minutes that you absorb healthy content, pure content, content which is full of compassion, faith, acceptance, gratitude. This is very different content from our entertainment content quality. So this is the opposite quality content. So if we consume that on a daily basis for at least 30 minutes, so that's what I shared with you. I have to study. I study every day for 60 minutes every morning, apart from any number of times during the day. But the morning has to start with that 1 hour. It's a routine 365 days, because that's like eating the right diet for the mind. That is what is going to keep us emotionally fit. So if everyone does this, that whatever they choose, scriptures, spiritual studies, books, prayers, whatever religion is teaching us, that's pure content. Pure content. Consume it every day and then live it during the day. Consume it every day and then live it during the day in action. Our emotional fitness levels will be very high, and then we can face any situation. Any situation we will face with calm and stability.
Right. Somewhere you had said in one of your programs that we need to recreate our thoughts daily. Is that
Yes.
what you meant just now? That every morning we need to refresh.
Every day. Because it's like your body. Every day we eat, every day we have a bath, every day. There are certain things we are doing every day. We are not doing them once in a while. Even if you go on a fasting, you how many days will you fast? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. After that, you have to eat. So eating, sleeping, these are things that we do on a daily basis. Why do we do that? To energize the body, to refresh, recreate, and the body is ready the next day. Similarly for the mind. Similarly for the mind. Nourish the mind on a daily basis and restrict content consumption which is not of a good quality. This is having a deep impact on minds of people because content now on different platforms, one, it's the so-called ordinary normal content, but it's not healthy. And second, it's designed to be very addictive. Because it's designed to be very addictive, especially the things that we have on our phone, they are designed to be very addictive. So the mind becomes more and more dependent on that content. So that's where we start losing our willpower.
Also, like you have spoken about COVID, and you said, when COVID came around, everybody was panicking, I included. You feel that anxiety because it is so unpredictable. We don't know what's going to be open, what's going to be closed. Am I going to still have my job? Am I going to lose it? How am I going to get money? And thousands of questions that affect us. Now, when life is so unpredictable, are our thoughts, our positive thoughts, are they alone enough to keep us on the right track?
There are two worlds. One is the outer world and one is your inner world. Right? One out of the two should be in your control. If one out of the two is your way, life is fine. So either the outer world should be my way, my job is perfect, my people are perfect, my city is perfect, my world is perfect. If everything is perfect outside for me, then even if I don't take care here, it's fine. I'll be able to manage life very beautifully. If nothing is going my way here, I at least need to take care that my thoughts are my way. So like you said, COVID, job insecurity. Yes, it's a reality that some of us lost our jobs. Some of us were thinking, what if I lose my job, right? So we hadn't yet lost our job, but we were thinking, what if I lose my job? Some were even thinking, what if I am no more? How will my children look after themselves? Even to that extent,
Absolutely.
People have thought,
True.
yeah, without having any COVID in the house. So there was no COVID in the house. Even then, they were creating those kind of thoughts. So now this, I need to ask myself, the situation is not yet a reality, but I am only anticipating the situation in my mind, right? Right? So it may not happen, then all my energy is wasted, which means I just depleted my last 1 month or 2 months creating thoughts which were of a low vibrational quality because they were thoughts that were not happy thoughts. They were anxious thoughts. They were fearful thoughts. They were stressful thoughts. So it's depleting my emotional health. Second, what if that situation becomes a reality, which means if I really lose my job or if I really get COVID or something like that happens in my family, that is the time when I require even higher coping skills. I require higher coping skills, to face if a situation hits me. But I already depleted my coping skills by thinking about it wrongly before it had actually happened.
The
So at any
anticipation.
point of time, the anticipation, but depleting energy. No, if you just sit now here and you just start thinking about what if tomorrow I die? I mean, what does it take to think like that? Nothing. So I can start thinking, what if I die tomorrow? Who will look after my family? Who will take care of this? If I start thinking like this, then what am I doing? I am creating that vibrational energy which is going to deplete my emotional health because I'm not going to feel nice when I'm creating these thoughts. But what do we say? We say, but I was not thinking, the thought just came to me. So we say the thought just came to me. I never created the thought. And we call that worry. I was worrying about the future. But worrying is an emotional illness. It means I need nourishing. Now, suppose someone is creating this thought, they just need to take out a good book, and start reading something very pure, which means immediately give yourself good nourishment. It's like if you're feeling physically weak, the doctor will immediately give you something. You eat this little bit, you will be fine. Same with this. Don't allow your mind to go in those anxious thoughts. We are only wasting energy. Immediately consume some very nourishing diet for the mind And when you pick up your book and you start reading, and there you will say, God is saying, everything will be fine. Don't worry. I am there with you. And you will read that, and within 5 minutes, you say, oh, yes, why was I worrying? Why should I worry about it? But I needed to fill myself with that to start changing my thoughts. Why do these fearful thoughts come to us? Two reasons. There are two sources of these thoughts. One, if I'm consuming too much of that kind of content. So during COVID, what happened? We were getting all these videos of everything that was happening in the country. And everybody, out of pure intent, was circulating all those videos. But it was coming from everywhere. So we kept consuming those visuals. They were there on the mind, they were getting recorded. That's one source of thinking like that. And second is because many people around me are thinking like that, that vibration is in the air. That vibration is in the air.
True.
So even if I don't have an issue at home, but I catch that vibration. Like if you go to church, there's a vibration of prayer in the church, there is a vibration of peace and purity, and you can be very troubled and stressed and just walk into the church. You haven't yet prayed also, you haven't yet sat down over there also,
The
but just
atmosphere.
entering into that vibration. Atmosphere is the vibration. So what is the
Absolutely.
atmosphere in the city and the country? Fear and anxiety. That
True.
also influences me. So those are the two reasons. So we have to protect. That's called building emotional immunity system. Protect ourselves from the emotional infection around us. Nourish yourself on a daily basis.
Right. Earlier you said that the content that we go through on our phones or movies or whatever it is affects us. Now, how as a parent or parents who are watching, can they control what their children watch? Because the children are very hard-headed. This is my phone, I'm going to watch it and you're not going to tell me what to do. Now,
Yes.
I as a parent would know that this is not good for my child, it's harming my child. But the moment I say, you shouldn't be watching that, it's not good for you, parents are invariably told, you don't know, please stay out of it, let me do, mind your own business, I'll mind mine. So
Yeah.
what does a parent do in a situation like this?
First and foremost, we have to first start practicing it ourselves.
True.
It's not about first stopping them, because you can't. Self change is something that comes from within. It can't be imposed on somebody else, not even on your children. You can't impose. You can suggest. We can suggest, we cannot impose or control. But the first person who has to do it, me, myself. I have to do it for myself, for my own benefit, not because I want to teach my child. But I will do it first for myself, that I will restrict my content consumption and I will consume pure content on a daily basis. Once I start doing these two things, there's going to be a change in me. The first thing that has to happen, there has to be a change in me. Once I change, my vibration changes. Your vibration will radiate to your child. With children, and even with many other people, communication should be less from here. Communication is more from here. Your vibe, like how the vibration of the church influences us. So why can't the vibration of a parent influence the child? It will influence, has to influence, because a child gets maximum influence from the vibration of a parent. So parents should avoid verbal instructions and do it just from here. Just implement it first in your life and let your aura, your energy field influence your children. The day they are feeling a little low or a little disturbed or a little troubled, they will come to you. They will be sitting next to you, and gently you can say, don't even say, don't watch this. Just say 20 minutes, you start watching this or you start reading this, you're going to feel better. It's not something which can say do's and don'ts, you can't do this. They are not right now, not everybody is in a position to accept that instruction mode from us.
Right.
But vibrations influence.
We just have about 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. So I just have two very quick questions. One is, we hear so much about good karma and bad karma. So how does it affect our life? And is there any way that we can change the bad closing balance that we've come with, which has become our opening balance now? Is there any way we can do that?
Karma is our every thought, word, and behavior. So thought, word, and behavior is energy we create. So Whether it's mind, words, or behavior, it's karma. Karma is not only behavior. Even my thought is karma because it's an energy that I'm creating. And every energy that I create will have a consequence. It's like if I don't think right, it affects my body. Tomorrow it can manifest as a health issue. If I don't think right about you, it's a karma I'm creating in my relationship. Tomorrow that relationship can get into a conflict because I've not been thinking right for a very long time. But the conflict will suddenly come on one of the days because of something that I will say. So this karma will always have a consequence. So every karma has a consequence. So first thing is to take care of our karmas now that we are thinking, speaking, behaving right. Now certain things we have already done earlier. It's a karma that we've already done earlier. Whether we can stop that from coming into our life? No. We cannot stop a consequence from coming into our life. It's like if I've thrown the arrow out or I've thrown the ball out, the ball has to come back after hitting the ball. But when the ball comes back, that means when the consequence comes to me, now how am I going to respond? Will be the new karma. And when that new karma is right, you will not suffer because of the consequence of the old one. So, for example, you have been judgmental about me in your mind. And so that energy has been coming to me for 6 months. And today something happens and I react and I am very bad in my behavior towards you. This is a return of your past karma because you were creating critical judgmental thinking about me. Now you got the consequence of it that I lashed out at you and I spoke behavior. But now if your present karma is right, which means you keep quiet, you don't react, you take charge of the situation, you send prayers and blessings to me, your present karma is right. And therefore, that karmic account will become very simple and you will not suffer and it will just settle and finish it off. But you cannot stop the consequence of a karma coming because the karma is already created. The consequence will be there. But how you respond now will change how you feel when the consequence comes.
And how we respond now depends on how we
yeah.
think. We come back
so
again
it is,
to our
yes,
thinking.
so it's three things. It's three things. The past is coming back to me always. Always, whatever I've sent out, past is coming to me. Present I am creating right now. And the present that I'm creating right now is becoming my future destiny. So past, present, future is going hand in hand every moment. Every moment. So it doesn't matter if the past is not good, which comes to you. Let the present be accurate.
So we have to live in the present and we have to make the best of the present. And my last question to you, not a question, but I would like to ask your suggestion that all those who are watching, what is the one thing you would tell them, the one very, very important thing that they can do, which is really easy to change their way of thinking, to become better people, and then once you become a better human being, your relationships improve and people around you are happier and the world will become a happier place. Yes. What is that one suggestion that you would give them?
Make emotional health a priority. Don't blame people for how you're feeling. Take charge of your emotions that I am creating. Consciously create the healthier emotions. Don't live out of these negative emotions, calling it normal. And for that, practice at least 30 minutes of self-care on a daily basis, which means at least 20 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes before going to sleep, consume pure content. That's nourishing your mind to create the right thoughts. Meditation in the morning and in the night before going to sleep, and sleep right. Sleep hygiene has a big role to play on the health of the mind and the body. So sleep early, and an hour before you sleep, disconnect from content consumption so that your mind slows down, goes into the alpha stage, and then when you lie down, you go into the deep delta stage of sleep. It's energizing, it's healing for the mind and body. So just simple lifestyle habits, the way we sleep, the way we wake up, and what we watch, read, listen, it can completely change the way we think and change our destiny.
Thank you. I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone who's been watching, that listening to you, we are all energized. So your positive energy has actually radiated to all of us. So I would like to say thank you very much. It was lovely speaking with you. We've learned a lot. And please do come again. We'd love to hear from you as often as possible. And to all our viewers, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And I'm sure you've learned as much as I did. It truly was beneficial. So if you want to change your life, you need to change your thoughts. This is us saying bye for now, and until next time, take care of yourself. Thank you. Thank you again. God bless.
Thank you so much.